Hi, my name is Patricia, and in each short video, I break down one business analysis technique at a time in under 5 minutes. Let's get into it. Even with carefully designed systems, users can get stuck or make mistakes if we don't map out their actual interactions. Use cases and scenarios help capture every step a user might take, revealing gaps before they turn into real issues. Use case and scenarios is a technique that visually and descriptively captures user interactions to ensure nothing is missed. Today, we're exploring use case and scenarios, a technique that helps you understand the user journey and system behavior clearly. Let's take a closer look. Why does this matter? Use cases and scenarios give us a clear view of how users actually interact with the system. This helps us identify gaps long before development, avoiding costly fixes later. It also reduces miscommunication between stakeholders and developers because everyone is looking at the same picture of user behavior. Why does this technique work so well? By visually mapping each interaction, use cases and scenarios make it clear how users navigate the system. They highlight gaps and alternative paths, showing exactly where users might get stuck or make errors. And they align stakeholders. Everyone sees the same picture of expected behavior, reducing misunderstandings and improving communication. Now, let's look at when to use this. Use cases and scenarios are ideal when designing new systems, especially when interactions are complex. They're also essential when there's a high risk of missing requirements or when you need to ensure stakeholders are fully aligned on expected behavior. Here's how to apply it in practice. Start by identifying the actors, the people or systems interacting with your solution. Next, define the use case steps in sequence, capturing the main flow from start to finish. Then explore the alternative paths. What happens if something goes wrong or if the user takes a different action? Finally, validate everything with stakeholders to make sure no steps, conditions, or behaviors are missing. Let's walk through a real example. Imagine a mobile banking app. The actor is the customer, and the use case is transfer funds. First, the customer logs in and selects a recipient. Then, they enter the transfer amount. The system checks the balance. Here's a decision point. If the funds are sufficient, the transfer is confirmed. If not, an error message is displayed. Finally, a notification is sent to the customer. Mapping this scenario helps us spot potential gaps, like what happens if a network error occurs or if the recipient details are incorrect. It also ensures stakeholders understand the exact flow, reducing miscommunication and improving the overall user experience. Here are some pro tips. Always include alternative paths to cover errors or unexpected actions. Engage real users or stakeholders to validate scenarios so nothing is overlooked. And keep it visual and simple. Clear diagrams communicate far better than long blocks of text. To wrap up, use case and scenarios give you a clear view of user interactions, reduce missed requirements, and improve stakeholder alignment. Next, we'll explore state modeling, which shows how systems behave over time. See you then.